Hi, today I'm going to show you how to do the negative painting technique with watercolor. Negative painting in watercolor is when you paint the space around an object, or is also called negative space, to create the object's shape. The negative painting technique can add more depth to an artwork and has been used in many types of paintings such as landscapes, still lifes, and portraits. So the first step I would like you to do is to create a quick sketch. So in this painting, I would like you to sketch some leaves that stay on top of the others, and those leaves will receive the most amount of sunlight. So now we are going to paint the first layer wet on wet, and this layer we will use just light color. So before we paint, I would like you to moisten the paper with clean water first. On the right hand side, I'm mixing colors on my palette. I load quite a lot of water so the paint will not be too thick, and it blends better that way, I think. I'm mixing three colors, yellow, green, and blue separately, and when I apply them onto the wet paper, they won't just mix together naturally. So I mixed three different colors to make my painting more colorful. Now I'm adding the colors onto the wet paper here and there randomly, and I don't worry about the sketch because we will work on that on the second layer. So just add the colors randomly onto the paper and allow them to mix together, to blend together naturally. My first layer is already dry completely. Now it's time to paint the second layer. On your palette, mix the same colors with water, but this time make the colors darker or thicker. You can also mix two original colors together to create a secondary color. Now carefully paint the negative space around the leaves that you already sketched in step 1. And you can create gradient washes or variegated washes in this step. What are they? I will leave the link to my previous video about creating washes. So the colors painted in this step will become the colors of the leaves on the second layer. Just try to add more than one color so it will be more interesting, and try to avoid leaving clear brush strokes. We want to have a smooth painted layer at this step. You might notice that I changed the brush from a big mop brush to a smaller round brush so I can control the brush strokes better. By painting the negative space, we form the shapes of the leaves on the first layer. We will wait for the watercolor paper to dry completely before we apply the next layer. And for this time, I will use a pencil to sketch the leaves for the next layer before painting the negative space. Now, paint the negative space around the leaves on the second layer and also around the first layers with even darker colors. You can see that we have more leaves with some colors on them this time, and the painting started to have more depth, right? Be careful when you paint the small gap between two leaves. You can change your brush to a smaller one to have a better control. If you like this video so far, subscribe and hit the bell button as it's a huge support for my channel. Thank you! Welcome back to my tutorial. So the second layer is now already dry. I'm mixing thicker colors for the next layer. We will repeat the process by painting the negative space between the leaves on the third, second, and the first layers. You can also sketch some more leaves for the third layer before painting. This step requires a lot of attention as the gaps between the leaves are smaller and smaller. You can see that I use very thick and dark colors for this layer because I want to really separate the leaves and to add more depth to the painting. It looks like we have 3 layers of leaves, and inside is probably the ground and it's super dark. For now, we basically finished, but some leaves on my first layer are a bit too pale when they are dry, so I want to add some more colors to them so they will not pop up too much. So this step is just optional. If they look fine for you, then you don't need to adjust them as I do. So I'm adding some colors wet on wet to the leaves on the first layer. Carefully lift off some pigments if they are too dark. I wait until my painting is completely dry before removing the masking tape. We need to be careful, otherwise the tape will damage the paper. And this is the final result. The painting is simple but colorful and has more space in it. I hope you enjoy the negative painting technique. Let me know how it turns out for you in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe to see more painting tutorials on my channel. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.